to take it as a responsibility that what we took over, God forbid that it should be destroyed in our hand. Is anybody here that will allow this golden gift that was given to us to be destroyed by him or her? Is anybody? No. So it's our hope and our willingness to continue to maintain and sustain what was given to us. Somebody got up and somebody coming to sit there. Why should it be in our time we should destroy the chair? So I want to speak, and I'm speaking and also I've been holding meetings with individuals, group of people, as we just arrange a meeting. We all just have to know that the election will come, people ought to be elected. Remember, your right stopped where another person's began. If in any way, any manner, you infringe on any other person's right, that is our responsibility. We will not spare you. I said, we will not allow you to go free. You must come and answer the question by yourself. You, Mr. This, on so date, so time, at so place, you did this. That is your name. And that is what you answer, not a party. Somebody must be there. And somebody must lead somebody. Is it not so? Somebody must lead somebody. Somebody must end. Keep on, especially our youth, the boys. Somebody is a grandfather is answering the boys. I went for a meeting, the youth security meeting. I said they should distinguish. For me, I want to understand who are the boys and who are the youth. Please, the boys, answer. Who are the boys? They are not here. But you always say, okay, we are the boys. A grandfather, the answer boys.
There will be a question box outside. So if you have questions for the candidates, you get to one of the team at the back, ask for a paper, write your question, your name, and it will be directed to the candidates who run. We want to thank our sponsors, Golden Tulip, Yobican, National Council of Nigeria, Tsoule Media, 3 Best Promotion, AK Praise, the News Group, and the Festaconline In for making this possible. We also want to thank you for making this possible. We enjoy it to listen and listen. Thank you very much.
Right, I'm going to start with the House of Assembly, and this is, I'm going to call first the candidate of the ADP. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's welcome Makiwa. Please put your hands together for here as he takes his seat. For the House of Rep for the ADP is Barrister Dorothy Elego. She has already introduced herself, but let's introduce her one more time. Welcome. The candidate for the House of Rep for the same party, but when they come, we will introduce them as we go on. Also for the House of Assembly, representing ABGA. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Tunde Bello. Please put your hands together for him. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the candidates who are available as of now. When others come, we'll introduce them and bring them up. I'm going to read the ground rules for everyone to know so that we can proceed. First ground rule is that all debaters or candidates, you have 60 seconds to answer a question. Oh, please pardon me before I go into the ground rules. Please, apologies if I have skipped one of our candidates from the Alliance of New Nigeria. Please help me welcome Mr. Emmanuel Ajibade. Please. Yes, Mr. Emmanuel Ajibade, yes, from the ANN. The Lion. Okay, quickly the ground rules. All candidates have 60 seconds to answer questions. And of course, your opponent have 40 seconds for rebuttal, right? The moderator will ask follow-up questions on the response given to a question or on the issue raised in the rebuttal. There will be no scores recorded for the debate. There will be no break in the course of the debate. Please, profane languages and direct attack on opponents will not be allowed in this debate. Please ensure we adhere to strict decorum for all candidates. Please, 2 minutes closing statement shall be given to each debater. 2-minute opening statement so that you can give us your manifestos before we begin the questions proper. Okay, please, for the audience, no chanting of party songs. I can see a lot of us were represented with our party identities. Please, no chanting of party songs, no clapping of the hands, no yelling. If you are impressed with a particular response, a resounding clap of it will suffice for 3 seconds, and then please let's have silence in the auditorium. Okay, and of course, no violence. Okay, so no matter what is said, if you're not in agreement, you have the chance to rebut it or respond when it's time for the questions and answer. And lastly, please, if you have your phones here, please put them on silent or on vibrate mode. The debate is streamed live on Digit 1024 radio. Please. You can shake my hands too, I'm available. Just put some money inside there. All of a sudden, I'm feeling like the president of Nigeria. Okay, very quickly before we get up into the hit. So you have 2 minutes, please, 2 minutes for your manifestos.
We have a whole range of activities that we have planned, a whole range of things we have planned for youth, i.e. empowerment, i.e. job creations. We have things planned for women to create, to give them small monies that will help them to run their business. Obviously, this is apart from the fact that we'll be doing the legislative duties, which entails creating laws that will govern our people. This part also apart from the fact that we're going to have community activities which will bring the community together and make them one.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anthony. I'm representing YPP, Lagos State House of Assembly. My manifestos here mainly security, job creation, and empowerment. We're going to be liaising with the police on security measures, how to secure lives and properties in the local government, in the constituency. We're going to have empowerment through sporting events. We're also going to create an enabling environment for business to thrive in the constituency. We're also going to try and create job employment for artisans. We're going to try and raise money for them, do the businesses. We're also going to be a voice for the people. We're going to be servants for them, where there are problems, standing for them. We're going to raise bills for free education, upgrading of schools. We're going to be building professional centers. These are many what we're going to do when we're in office. But for now, let's take a break. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. That's a candidate from the YPP. Just for recognition, we just want to recognize the president of the Festaconline Association, Mr. Shola Fakuride, and his secretary, Mr. Justice. Please, a round of applause for them. President of the Festaconline Association.
Former councillor in the local government of 1K. When I was a councillor, I was able to do some program, which I would love you guys to vote for me as the next member, because it has assembly member, because 21 Amuwodofin. When I was a councillor in Festaconline 1K, First Avenue 212, 21 Road, 311, from government, and they will tell you what I'm going to achieve as a councillor, as a lawmaker. Because as a councillor, I'm doing the same thing as a member of the Lagos State Assembly. And one of my past manifestos is our past manifesto is ABGA. Our partner programs include our regular plate of that trade, bank talk programs, reach out conference, symposium and seminars, barbecue with the neighbor, and sporting championship. I did it as a councillor, and I can promise you, if you vote for me, if you vote for ABGA, come March 2nd, 2019, you will not even regret it anyway. But as a councillor, I've done those programs I've done the bank talk shop, I've done the pre-computer training, and I trained thousands of youths, even together, and it's on record there. So I heard you for my part in Ultimate Grand Alliance, and I've become the Lagos State Assembly member. One of the things I proposed to sponsor is the church break at work.
Actually, we don't call ourselves politicians. All right, without wasting much of our time, our manifesto, or my manifesto, critically, would I say it's more focused on youth. Why I said that? Because we have so many things in store for the youth. It's youth empowerment. And when I say youth empowerment, I don't just mean the normal 2-week skill acquisition. I mean youth empowerment and other sports activities, supporting career. But I'd like to remind us that we the youth are also the leaders of tomorrow. We need to start from the foundation. That's why we are focusing more of our strength on the youth. I also intend to support educational facilities in our constituency. Educational facilities. We need more strength on education. Then we need to get out of idleness.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Honorable Dikko Olorin to intimate us.
First and foremost, I'm usually used to giving every honor to the privileged one who is the Almighty God, who has given me the privilege to always hold this mic and stand on behalf of the great people of AmuwoOdofin. Let me quickly recognize and appreciate the organizers of this program. But going straight to the point, because I'm a very law-abiding constitutional citizen of this great country. I guess I have less than 2 minutes, so I also have to acknowledge my people. So my 2 minutes starts hence now. Going forward, I wouldn't want to say I don't have a manifesto. Of course, I have a manifesto, but I would always say this is Nigeria, where you come in with your own personal passion, where you come in with your own personal agenda. I remember in 2014, I came in with an agenda, and now in 2019, I'm still going to say to you all that I'm going to consolidate on that particular agenda. And that agenda is more of accessibility to people. Accessibility to people really means the fact that if you look at economics will tell you that human wants are unlimited. You have different problems. That fellow there has another problem. That association there has another problem. Everybody's got different kinds of problems. So I am here and accessible, haven't been drilled, haven't been seeing the other side of life even before getting into politics, haven't been prepared for this particular position which comes from the Almighty God. I can assure you all that accessibility will definitely be consolidated one more time.
Okay, I decided to put her last because she's the only female on the panel, and she's the only one right for the House of Representatives. Barrister Dorothy Lebode to intimate us on her manifesto. ADC.
Praise the Lord. My name is Barrister Mrs. Dorothy Lebode, a candidate representing African Democratic Congress, ADC, and our symbol is handshake across the nation. Yeah. I am for House of Representatives. As most of you know, you see me in the platform, I keep saying that House of Rep is not a donkey parliament. It's not a place where you go and not hedge. It's a place where you access. It's a place where you dish wisdom, facts, not tomorrow, but now. What I promise you is that I'm going to represent you like never before. I am going to give you what you have never seen. As a lawyer and a Christian, I'm going to do my best. They call me I am going to cover all the doctrine of covering the field. 24 hours, I will pass more than 181 constitution stating that you must sit. 24 hours will be busy seeing me. The name AmuwoOdofin will reign like a perfume. On this note, I am going to do what I'm telling you is quality and effective legislation. I am basing on empowerment on all levels, all human beings alive.
Put your hands together for her. Welcome. Well, we will not pass you by since you are already here. Let's give you the opportunity to also intimate the people on your manifesto. Please, 2 minutes so we can move on to the debate. Thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on all existing protocol. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank the organizers of this laudable event. I've been looking so forward to it, and permit me to also apologize for coming in a bit late. My humble self is Mojisola Ali Ulumegbomsoni Macaulay. I'm from Lagos Island. I studied here in Lagos. I read history and international relations as my first degree at Lagos State University. I proceeded to the Open University Milton Keynes upon time in the UK, where I read social science. I'm currently a student of law at the Lagos State University. So I had my elementary education here in Festaconline. To intimate you of my manifesto, I'm contesting under the flagship of the APC for the Lagos State House of Assembly. I was a former councillor here, the former councillor of Ward B1, and the former deputy leader of the Legislative Council.
My name remains Brother Leonard Ikelichukwu. I'm contesting on the platform of APGA to represent the great federal constituency called AmuwoOdofin. Very simple. I am not here for political rhetorics or banning. Rather, I am here out of passion to tell my people that the time has come for a true positive change in our great constituency. I believe in my heart that as you do at this point in time, people are still making mockery of the great and wonderful sensitive job. My goal is very simple, like I have in my manifesto. I have discovered a man that I am going to give us what I call responsible and responsive representation if I get into the chambers. How do I mean? By responsible, I'm going to take charge of the good and bad within my constituency without trying to give blames to the past government. That is to say, I'm going to be very responsive to the pains and caprices of the people. Therefore, seeing smiles on the faces of my people will be my goal. And how do I do that? It's only when I am within the constituency that I've come to represent, not by service of alienation. Because the moment I decide myself for the place I hardly can have the pause or the promise of the people. That is my promise. Number two, if I'm able to resist the temptation of gambling and acquisition based on self-aggrandizement, I think by the time 75% of all want to come to AmuwoOdofin of a truth that's going to be a difference. People will see difference, people will see reasons to laugh.
Prove to us that you understand the challenges of AmuwoOdofin as a local government, and tell us what you will be doing in your capacity if you do win the elections to how to provide solutions to the top challenges of AmuwoOdofin.
I've looked at AmuwoOdofin and I know the various challenges are enormous. Enormous because past governments have hitherto neglected the community. I live in a house whereby water does not flow. I live in a community whereby we have flooded water, flooded areas, i.e. the extension. I've gone around those places. I've taken photographs of those places. I've gone to Festac extension. I've gone to 312 road. I've seen things that should be done. I look around. You see the street lights of almost everywhere in Amuwodofin. All the street lights are gone. So how then will we say there are no miscreants around? How then will we feel the impact of them?
When I win this election, I'm going to face the youth. We have a problem in our local government here. The youth have been endowed with drugs. We're going to find a way to eradicate this drug abuse. We need to eradicate drug abuse from society. Also, when I win this election, I'm going to use sports. Yes, I'm going to use sports as an enablement of empowerment for our youth as well. But before this can be done, drug abuse needs to be eradicated from the local government. And I'm going to have feedbacks from my people that will be placed in every ward of the local government.
I'm going to pardon him so much. I mean, the incoming governor of Lagos State. My governor, you know, you're having to generate over 25 billion monthly. I think if I just invest on our road, just 1 billion out of the local government. Of course, if imagine we bring 1 billion out of the local government, we're going to do a lot of it, a lot of our roads, our drainage system. And another thing again, I'm going to partner with the company that have the local government. It's more a public-private partnership. I'm going to pilot them very well. I'm going to move closer to them. I'm going to raise them. I'm going to pilot them. We're going to get grants from them. There's a job on the way. I'm going to generate funds, and I'm going to talk to my family and friends to make sure I'm going to use my own personal fund. Even my salary. When as a councillor, I my salary for much of our programs and the council.
There's so much unemployment among the young people in right now, and of course, Amuwodofin also is over 10% of the total population of Lagos State. We have about 2 million young people. Just imagine the unemployment in this area. I want you to give us what initiative you will create to support small businesses and entrepreneurs to continue to do business so that they can employ more people and employ more youths.
It's a major issue. But first of all, what I intend to do, you invite every youth in every ward of the constituency. You invite them, call them for a youth seminar. Invite them, tell everyone, bring what you can do. Look at everybody's strengths and weakness. You know where each and everybody is good at. You know what everybody wants to do. You support them with the little you can, which will be provided from the constituency fund. You raise people from grass to grace. When you pick at least the best 10, raise them financially, know what they want to do, follow them up on what they are doing, whatever business or whatever they want to do, and make sure those people are doing fine. Those people will help other people, bring them up. Every little mistake they do, you follow them up and correct them and make sure they bring up other people.
Representing the people of Amuwodofin constituency, can you tell us what policies you'll be formulating to improve the socio-economic lifestyle of the people of Amuwodofin?
As I told you, I'm starting with myself. I'm setting a pace. On that note, I swore in the past, and I hereby swear that I'm giving our constituency my 1 year salary, and 1 month salary is 13.8 million. 13.8 million times 12 months. That is what I'm giving Amuwodofin for empowerment. In the name of Jesus. And I tell you, I cried like a fool at 4th Avenue when a youth drank Sinapi 2 weeks ago.
Hello. I think one of the rules here is we can stand up to actually counter opinions that we feel contrary to our personal beliefs. Let me quickly use this opportunity as a sitting constitutional personnel here to let you all know, because we're representatives, that there is not any such fund that exists.
Okay. Let me direct this question to the candidate of the APC. Mojisola Macaulay. Roads. Every direction one looks, bad roads, poor drainage system that provokes flooding of the place whenever it rains, and the water tankers reservoir stares on the face. On the issue of the 4 tankers that are always being parked on the roads and causing huge traffic, you can see the incidents that have been happening over time, especially the ones that have happened on the Ojo Road, the Ojo Barracks. We're asking, if you win this election, how would you move to ensure that this incident stops?
Thank you very much. It's just as simple as you've said it. I'm going to liaise with the state government, pass a bill that ensures that all these tankers disappear. I'm going to liaise with the governor especially, and make him understand why these tankers need to leave, the space of AmuwoOdofin. The people who are responsible for the infrastructure in the, within my jurisdiction, I will liaise with them. They will listen to me, especially because they are also part of my party members. They are also my party members. I am going to liaise with them. I am going to provide evidence, because even when I was a councillor here in AmuwoOdofin, I liaised with the then governor Babatunde Raji Fashola. He listened to me and helped me to repair the road, 23 road to 402 interjection. So that is just what I'm going to do.
I'm going to ask a follow-up question, but I'm going to direct it to the candidate of the PDP, Honorable Olori. Will agree with me. You will find out that it's every time of the election you see us repairing the roads. We attend to the roads just 2-3 months before the elections. You have been a sitting member of the House of Assembly, and I'm sure you can tell us why is this so, and what you would do to ensure that these roads are not a fire brigade approach, but we attend to them as early as possible. So you can just intimate us why this happens and what you're going to do to stop it.
Well, first and foremost, let me quickly educate us with something you need to understand. It's one thing to be educated, it's one thing for you to have an understanding of what you've been educated upon. I'm a lawmaker, and the duty of a lawmaker is to actually legislate and represent the people at the state. And I'm not in the executive arm, but I would take us back to 2015, when I came in. I was more or less representing, or let me rather say I was exercising the duties of an executive arm, because then we had an ES, which was Mrs. Ojodu, and we had a sole administrator. So for 2 years, I was more or less running those two things. I'm going to be as practical as possible for us to have a proper understanding of how to actually approach administration. You see, the truth is, in Nigeria today, people barely want to understand the difference between a lawmaker and an executive arm. So it has to do with your personnel. It has to do with...
ADP candidate Mr. Jide Makiwa wants to respond to that.
But what we could do, basically, is fight in the House to make sure that some monies are appropriated to solve this problem, especially when it has reached the level it has reached now in AmuwoOdofin. Almost all the roads are potholed. Almost all the cars have finished. But so that we should have the state government know what is happening. The law.
You want to rebut to that? Very quickly. Okay, 2 seconds.
Well, I was going to say that, and then, 2 years before then, I was the one running down to FEMA and running down to Ministry of Works. So it's something that I did then. But you wouldn't expect to have an elected sitting chairman there, and I'm going to go do his job. So I was doing that then, and you were never experiencing bad roads. If you remember very well, we were never experiencing any bad roads. If you remember when even the tanker got burnt, I called Lasema there. But when you are in a party and people are trying to play party supremacy, you don't play party supremacy, because in Amu, we are literate and we know what's up and we know our audience. So people know.
We are still in the questions, the first round. I'm going to redirect this question back to Mr. Jide Ejimakinwa, candidate of the ADP. Please, let's maintain decorum. Thank you. Up to 10 kidnap cases in the last 3 years in AmuwoOdofin. with 3 making the headline, including that of a wealthy businessman who was in his abductor's custody for almost 5 months. People say it's the growing number of the hangouts, shady corners, and also places that these people use as escape routes like the canals. How are you going to work with the Nigerian police and every other security agency to ensure that AmuwoOdofin is one of the safest local government there is in Lagos State?
I was talking about the lighting system in AmuwoOdofin. We'll try as much as possible to see, to raise funds, to be able to make sure AmuwoOdofin comes back to light again. They will be able to make the environment safer. Secondly, we would like to empower the hitherto vigilantes we used to have in the past. When AmuwoOdofin and Festac was in those days, we had people, vigilantes that were monitoring, i.e. the OPCs, the various securities, through the CDAs, will make sure that AmuwoOdofin is well policed in such a way that these miscreants will not have inroad into AmuwoOdofin. Every kidnap is always has the hand of an insider, and we make sure that information is directed or we find a way of sending information to the police to make sure we stop this menace in our environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to also direct this question to the candidate of the ABGA, Mr. Ogbonna Leonard.
Let me quickly narrow this to Chide now. You see, when you say security is something you can't rule out. You know, security has to do with partnership. Security has to do with you leaving your comfort zone as a honorable member. And I'm going to tell you this for free. There are some things you have to just do out of the box. You have to get out of the box and understand that the police has their issues because they are the executive arm. You are a lawmaker. You're busy trying to razzle and dazzle with your colleagues. So definitely you have to liaise. If you remember when we had the issue, the bank robbery then, I had to work with the AIG and the CP, and it got me very close to the CP. That was Owusheni then. You understand? So you have to leave your comfort zone and have a relationship with them.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so this question is rebuttal. Okay, the law permits it. 40 seconds.
Sorry, permit me to say this. As regards security, most times I believe solving security issues is not just about pestering the police. Speaking of kidnaps, the Yorubas always say something. If the interpretation, it's only an insider that knows the in and out of AmuwoOdofin. So an outsider cannot come in here and make kidnap and go scot-free, going through canals or anywhere. What I'm trying to say is this: let's eradicate idleness. An idle man is devil's workshop. When someone is idle, anybody can speak to him to do anything and he will buy into the idea. So let's first eradicate idleness of the youth.
Sir, last year, a coalition of more than 40 youth-based initiatives across the country pushed for the Not Too Young to Run bill, which reduces the age qualification of the presidential candidate from that of 40 to 30, and of course the House of Rep and Assembly from 30 to 25. Now with this, there's a breakthrough. Thankfully, it has been signed. Now that the barrier has been broken, how would you use your office if you were to win the election to encourage more young people to participate in government?
For those who know me very well, know that anywhere I go to, I do encourage the youth to come on board politically. I cherish the youth that are ready to campaign for either today and tomorrow they are campaigning for. I don't believe youth leaders of tomorrow, leaders of today. What I'm going to say the fact is this: I am going to encourage the youth by setting up an establishment that actually equips and trains the youth to come on board. Because there's no way the youth can come on board without having empowerment and welfareism of the youth as priority. Very simple.
Question to the candidate of the YPP, Mr. Emeka Okpo. It says no nation can rise above the quality of its education. As lawmaker, how would you use your office to bring about improved standard in education in this constituency?
Manifesto, I'm going to sponsor a bill for free education to upgrade our public schools and get qualitative teachers to take over. That's what I'm going to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I would maybe probably just also redirect that question to the candidate of ABGA, Mr. Tunde Bello, to answer that same question. What will you do to improve the standard of education in AmuwoOdofin constituency?
Well, what I will actually do to improve on that is to sponsor based on training and retraining. And one of the things, actually, even as a lawmaker, nobody was going to be a lawmaker as a leader or president. It's a must they will train you. And it's a must when the federal government or state government train me as an honorable member. I'll come to my constituency and make sure I train at least a lot of our youths that are interested. So it's a lot of training and retraining, and we're actually train the trainers.
Many of these people used to reside, or some of them are still residing here in AmuwoOdofin. What initiatives are you going to create to ensure that AmuwoOdofin keeps on breeding superstars by promoting their talent and showcasing them to the world? Share with us some of your ideas.
Thank you very much. I produce music. I'm a movie producer also. So with that, I believe it's an influence for me to continue breeding stars in AmuwoOdofin, of which some of the people I've even produced is a reigning star in AmuwoOdofin. Speaking of Scope the Entertainer, I've produced one of his tracks. I've done so many things as regards entertainment, so I believe with my influence, I know how to bring them up and make the show more stars come from AmuwoOdofin. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have a repeated hands up from Honorable Olorino. Okay, 40 seconds.
Very quick, let me quickly toe the line of what he just said. To be very frank, entertainment is broad. And let me say, coincidentally, the moderator here knows I'm into entertainment, and I was really into entertainment because you put your money where your mind is. And some of us know that very well. Entertainment is broad, and coincidentally, AmuwoOdofin got lots of people that have established themselves today. I'll be very frank with you. It's a business that you really have to be very frank and honest with yourself, and combining it with your job
to facilitate creation of job opportunities for young people.
I'll say this very straight. This is Nigeria, and it's a general problem. Unemployment is a big general problem we have. Now, it depends on the individual's approach of administration, like I said earlier, on how to tackle unemployment. How have I been able to tackle my own part, and how have I been able to get lots of people jobs? One, you don't sit in your office, you have to liaise with the ministries. Like I've been able to get people jobs in the ministries. I don't sit in my office, I go to a stab, I go to the Ministry of Civil Service, and I work in there. I used to be vice chairman for a stab. Now going forward, that is not enough because the quota is very much. You have to work up to stakeholders in the community. If you go down to ShopRite there, when it got opened, I liaised with virtually every individual that owns a shop in that mall. And you can go there and make your findings. We're able to get people employed.
Close to about 235 companies registered and making money in AmuwoOdofin. What I think we should do on a group is that we should use what we call moral suasion. This establishment and various establishments around, meet them MD to MD and tell them, see guys, we need to have quotas for members. You don't need to go to Akwa Ibom to get cooks. You don't need to go to Depot to get cooks.
That's what I said.
Get this thing, get AmuwoOdofin people into the system of the various, not just ShopRite, but everywhere. So let's have more companies on board.
Dorothy is going to do massive job creation. I have worked with French Embassy and I have much to do. I'm loaded. See, presently, we are the lawyer. My husband and I are both lawyers. We are representing Al-Raram, A-L-H-A-R-A-M. This is a company from Egypt, the Arabians. I am going to to help the youths in the sense that one, they are looking for where to pump their money and invest. I'm going to build all the ex-jetties in Oriade. I'm going to build the flyovers, and I will create jobs for the youth.
Nobody rebuttal on that question. To redirect that same question to
Buhari regime has been preaching it, saying it. I'll say it in my own way. And I've told you that God willing, I'm there and I'm there. You are going to see what I'm going to do. You may say I'm too strict if I say it now. But as a lawyer, I'm going to do the needful. I'm going to raise many bills to that effect. I'm going to sponsor bills to that effect in my morning. I am going to start with myself.
To Mojiso Macaulay, Honorable Mojiso Macaulay, and this question is, you said earlier that you will talk to the governor, believing that your party will win the state election, but if possibly your party did not win, what will you do?
It is what it is. I'm a legislator and a lawmaker, and the first thing I'm going to do, if I know that my party will win, that's certain. But in that my party doesn't win, there is a speaker in the house who I am going to be subjected to as the leader and the first man of the house. I'm going to do it with the speaker. And there is no responsible governor, a sitting governor, that would not listen to any state legislator. With due respect, I am a member, a legislator in his office. So there is no way I will walk into the governor's office and he will not give me audience. It is not possible. So he has to listen to me. Because even as a councillor, I walked into the governor's office at Alausade and I got audience. I am a woman. And that is what we do. We are so good at lobbying. There is no man that I will talk to that will not listen to me.
Please. Remember, Deborah. Please give him a round of applause, Mr. Shen. Are you here? Thank you for radio. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. Okay, the next question is directed to Mr. Tunde Bello. And this question is very, very direct. And I think this person who asked this question, you did not, use any profound language. He says, what achievements did you attain when you were trusted with funds to be our counselor?
The counselor, like I told you, I wasn't trusted with my salary and maybe my stupid of sitting allowances and that's it. So as a counselor, I was able to train thousands of Festac youths and my two youths. Go and ask on record. I was the counselor achieved best performing counselor in Lagos West. That is 28 local government. And I was the best personal counselor 2010 in Amuwodecides local government. And remember that go to local government, go ask for an opportunity below. They will tell you that I've done. I train thousands of youth on free computer training. I do recharge conferences. I do bank talk shop. The bank talk shop program was a program I called all the banks in the constituency to come and train our youth on elderly, on how to can access funds, on how to can manage their funds, and how to can do their business.
Honorable Dikpo, what are you doing concerning health facilities within AmuwoOdofin, bearing in mind that our health centers do not give drugs?
We address whoever rules that it's not in my duty to do that. You should raise that question to the local government. Thank you very much.
It's not in your duties to let, it's your job is legislation. But I believe you can't legislate over people that are dead or sick. You have to have an input. I would expect that once in a while you do some arrange some medical outreaches. We do. Correct. So those are things that we expect you to say and say you will continue if you get there. Let's have more of this in various locations. I am just being constructive with the question. I understand you. But people want to hear what should we do continually. That's what we should want to do. Yes, more with this people. I get the job. Thank you.
There is a chairman house committee on health in the State House of Assembly. If you are a good colleague, what stops you from talking to your colleague? As the chairman House Committee on Health, who can actually influence your local government chairman on your health problems. There is no way you cannot talk to your colleague in the House of Assembly. And what stops you as the representative of the local government at the state level? Why can't you walk into the local government, have a tete-a-tete with the chairman? That you are so disappointed and dismayed with the state of the health facility. Why can't you?
Ogunshino is here. Please give a round of applause. You're welcome, man.
Hello. Hello. You see, this is Amuwo, and we're very constructive people. You know, when you ask a question, you should give an answer. Except you want to toe the line of that question, just like Mr. Jimmy just did. I have the best relationship with my colleagues in the Lagos State House of Assembly. Even as a low ranger, I still have the best relationship. If I did not, I wouldn't be standing here. Secondly, let me say this, open and clear. Open and clear. I equally have an excellent relationship with the council chairman. I come into the council. I work with him directly. If you don't know this today, know this. Your tax, everything I received earlier because I'm an opposition in the House of Assembly. Thank you very much. For information.
That's all, maximum. And you will not be allowed to defend your questions again.
Hello, on the issue of health, from my 1 year salary that I've declared, I am bringing out buses that will be doing mobile hospitals. Thank you very much.
Let me direct this question to the candidate of the YPP, Emeka Okpo. This question goes thus. Please, my humble question goes thus. What are your plans for the disabled and the less privileged in the society? How do you intend to empower the disabled or people living with disabilities? Let me direct this question to the YPP candidate, Mr. Emeka Okpo.
Thank you very much. We are people living with disabilities are special people. So we are going to provide a special program which will be all-inclusive for the less privileged and the disabled. Thank you.
This person wants to know, this person is concerned about the growing rate of prostitution in Amuwodofin. A lot of red light districts, a lot of brothels, a lot of hotels and guest houses that are under the guise of hospitality, but they're actually brothels. What can you do to see that, you know, in terms of your legislation, what are you going to do to eradicate this?
No mother that would like to see women, young girls, wasting away, doing such unfortunate obligation. The first thing I'm going to do, like you said, that I will tell you is, why can't I call them to a meeting, have a stakeholders meeting, all the hotels or wherever these girls are locking around, you know, doing all this prostitution and all of that, all this ungodly act. Why don't I call all the hoteliers and talk to them and pass a bill against, and I think there is an existing bill on the abuse of a girl child. And if there is none, why can't I pass a bill on that? Because it's an abuse on these girls, taking advantage of these girls. Anybody found patronizing these girls will also be arrested.
I believe the problem can only be solved if you have, I attend the church that have outreaches to this kind of people. And we have seen tremendous result in talking to them and getting them to understand why this is. When you do such, you have stages, they are going to go through stages of rehabilitation and then empowerment to get out of what they are doing. It is the economic situation that brought them there.
Honorable Mojisola Macaulay, but I'm going to also allow Mr. Okpona Leonard to also touch on this question. And this question is, what are you going to do, or what bill are you going to pass to ensure that the local government get autonomy from the House of Rep?
I don't see the possibility of making a law that's quite completely independent from the law of the nation. You know, but one thing I know is this: unless we're talking about, are you listening? Yes. One thing I know is autonomy is always of good, but to some extent, right? But then, how to pass a bill or how to sponsor a bill is what I cannot tell for now, because I know it is against the law of the nation.
That question is already in existence and is in its third reading at the national. Okay, so I don't see a reason why you should even answer. It's not a question, but it's something that is already in existence. So I think the question should be probably rephrased in another form. Thank you.
Okay, so this person is, I'm going to read it just the way they wrote it. I came to Lagos State House of Assembly to watch our representation of the floor of the chambers, but you were not available on different occasions. I need to know why you don't attend sittings and committee meetings. That's one. That's one. What bills did you sponsor as a member, and what level are the bills presently?
When you're talking about passing of bills, sponsoring a bill, mention one person that has sponsored a bill in Lagos State House of Assembly. Now, you know why? Let me tell you this. There's a means of approach we take in the Lagos State House of Assembly. You can never say one person comes up and sponsors a bill. It's not allowed, because that's the approach of the institution at the moment by the Speaker of the House of Assembly. So there is nobody coming up. You know, I've been sitting here and people standing up, I'm going to pass a bill, I'm going to pass a bill. Obviously in 2015, like I said, I had my agendas. I wanted to pass bills. I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. I think the question should be, what motions did you move? And let me quickly educate us. I was the second person in Lagos State House of Assembly in 2015 to move the motion, and that motion was followed up the Baghdad-Gri Expressway. It was ran on the palliative measure. I stood up on the floor to move that. Secondly, now you asked me two questions. You asked me two questions. Now, the other question, let me say this. If you did not see me on the floor of the House, then it was a coincidence, because we do what they call oversight functions. And by the way, I'm in an opposition party. You should allow victimization. I'm not a committee chairman. Why would you expect me in some certain committees? Don't ask me that question. Go and ask the Speaker that question. Thank you very much.
To ask questions, so please let us hear them out. If re-elected, what would you wish to do differently? That's one. Then the last, okay, is how has your representation improved AmuwoOdofin and Lagos at large?
Like I said earlier, when I came in 2015, I was able to move a motion. Badagry Expressway is not my constituency. I've done a lot of, I've affected Lagos State as a whole. At large numbers, you can barely imagine. I was sent down to actually go understudy the free education system in Finland. We were sent not because they love us, but because we could easily and quickly bring in an excellent feedback ASAP as soon as possible. That's one. Now going to the next question, you said
how has your
representation my representation been? In all sincerity, in every form of sincerity. I beg your pardon and your personal opinion. I have an excellent relationship with every party, plus AMGA and APC seated here, except you want to deny. Yes. Don't worry, I'm not against you. Because that is what administration is all about. That is what administration is all about. And probably that's why people say, Big boy, you're not a politician. Big boy, you're not a politician. I think I rather choose to be this way because I'm in the new generation. Yes. You understand? And for our information reason, I'm the youngest in Lagos State House of Assembly. Yeah. So I think I should begin to set good precedents. Thank you very much.
There is an increase in cultism activities within the constituency, and reports has it that they are being supported and sponsored by political class to satisfy their whims and caprices. As a legislator, how do you intend to stop or eradicate it?
Direct correlation with the other question about prostitution. Boys join cults, and we know it. The only way out is not legislation as far as I'm concerned. The only way out is we have people like, nice people like this, everybody here, showing good examples, proving that if you are not in a cult, you can still be okay. They feel that if they join the cult, they will benefit from here and benefit from there. But if we show good examples, and our examples transcend, or it's being shown through our actions, we should be able to reduce cultism around us. It's not a function of getting legislation or police harassment. It will never work. In fact, when you use those methods, you increase the number of cults you have. And I think this should solve the problem. Thank you very much.
On the issue of cultism, it's something that we have been through a system for a very long time. And I can tell you there's nothing really the government can really do about that, because it's been a long time that I've been there. And I think the only thing we can do is to reorientate the mind of our undergraduates and let them know that really there's nothing can really gain as a cultist. And as you keep reorientation, they keep training them and no, you can't do anything with it, you can't get you anywhere. I'll keep talking to them and advising them. That's the same.
I don't think, to me, none of these things is the answer. To me, I feel there's an grievance somewhere. Somebody is feeling superior than the other, and there is no love. And because of these three things, I still say that I am going to unite everybody in the name of Jesus. How will I unite them? By letting people, we have to be practical. There is no work. Somebody is feeling somebody the other way. The person wants to liaise with the other one to show that the other one is subdued on track to act. So what I want to use is that as I promise that I am going to register with CSC.
What I would do first and foremost is to ensure that, I'm actually going to declare war against cultism, just as we're doing against drug abuse. It will be inculcated into our educational curriculum right from our primary education. The children need to catch them young. As far as I know, based on organic research, cultism has extended to our primary levels. You need to inculcate it into our educational curriculum, let them know what is wrong and what is right from the time that they're young. That's number one. I run an organization called MAMIAC, Mojisola Alimakoli Youth Advocacy Center. I will use this medium to reach out to the young ones and let them know. Using this, I'm going to put them under one roof, have a seminar on youth emancipation, self-discovery.
Thank you very much. On this issue, I think we're going to liaise with the police. We're going to organize symposiums and lectures and educate these young ones. Let them understand that cultism is evil and they need to back out of it. The only way for us to educate them, let them know what they're going into, is going to keep them ultimate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I agree with what Mr. Shea has said and what Macaulay has also said. I also want to add, charity begins at home. Let's call all parents first. Train your child in the right path, so they will give you peace. Now let's go on to the ones that are already in the game. Let me tell you something. Once something is imbibed in someone, it's there. It takes only the grace of God to take that thing out. Now I was talking about idleness. When someone is idle, he will think of something evil to do. When he's idle, whenever his friend talk to him, come let's do something, he's bound to follow whoever is talking to him. That is one thing we should note at the back of our mind. Make this youth busy. When you're busy, you're too busy to think of evil things to do. When you're busy, you don't want to listen to any friend that is telling you, let's go and do something. When you know you have an assignment to do tomorrow, you have something to prepare for in the office tomorrow, you will not sleep at night you will be up till 12 midnight creating your assignment to submit to your boss tomorrow morning. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Personal opinion, I'll just say this. You can't give what you don't have. And that's why I'm going to toe the line of Mr. Jide there. In fact, it's something we're already doing on the other side. You see, cultism is an orientation. It's something very, very hard to get off yourself. It's a habit. It's more like a personality. So it's something that really has to do with organizing programs for rehabilitation. Even your own self have to have something to offer. You have to liaise with them. You have to work with them. There's a saying that says you have to act like a monkey to catch a monkey. So personal opinion, I believe in what he has actually said. Thank you.
As a Catholic member in Catholic Church, I think constant meeting with the youth to the instrumentality of religious orders, and of course my humble self, we play a very, very role where the essence of cordial coexistence will always be preached. And something the youth will learn to live in harmony and real love. How do I mean? It is important because there's another essence in French. Petit la petit oiseau fait son nid. Little by little, like that, it's not nid. It is a constant having meeting with them. They will get to understand the need for them to live in harmony. And that is why I said, what I'm going to do different is to ensure there's always a town hall meeting. I don't have the widows and legislated ones as legislator with great influence. And as a businessman, because I come from a trading community, I think I've had enough influence with both international and local organizations that will always make up with what the government can do. So I am saying I've done it before. You go to the you find out. I think I'm saying to it again. I've been able to help many people like one. Thank you.
Well, for me, I'll just toe his line because I'm just a very practical person. You see, the fact remains that legislation or administration has nothing to do with, affecting lives. Like I said earlier, you can't give what you don't have. I've always been a businessman. I've worked, I have served, and in fact, I belong to a club called Lions Club, which is humanitarian service. So it's all about you having it in you to be able to deliver to the people, basically. So you can't, like I said, if you don't have past experience, like you just said, he's a businessman. He knows what to do. He knows where to partner with. He knows where to run to. You can't just come into government and say you don't have a background. It's just like having a business. You want to run into business and you don't have a business plan. You're going to run dry and you're going to knock. So the fact still remains that you have to be personally equipped before you find yourself in government. Then you know how to tackle the less privileged. Thank you.
Being a widow does not mean you don't have what you do before becoming a widow. Okay, let me just go straight. We also have programs to empower widows, widowers, whatever. Like I said before, you bring them together, know whatever they want, know whatever they are good at, strengthen them, support them. Okay, now let's do it this week. Every 3 months, or every quarter of the year, you invite the widow, give them stipends, encourage them, give them what to do. Encourage and push them onto the grass, like let them know how to train up their children to also support them. Myself, my mother is a widow. My dad died 16 years ago, and she has trained us up to this extent without support of anybody. I tell you, being a widow does not make you a less privileged. You can do it. If my mother can, you can. All we need to do is encourage the widows or widower to know they can do things.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to run to Royal Meaning Amuwodecides residents, raise money, and give to these widows to start business. Yes, I'm going to contribute and I'm going to donate to the cause. God helps less privileged. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
There is an existing widows association in Amuwodofin.
Even as councillor, I used to visit them and I used to give them my widow's mite. Like one of the speakers has said, you don't need to be anything to care for your neighbor. You don't have to be a legislator to know that you're responsible to caring for the indigent people around you. You know, so the widows, I'm going to have empowerment programs. Give them whatever they want, because it's one thing to want to give them something, another thing is they already have what they want. So you find out from them what they want, give them what they want, support them quarterly. There's nothing bad about giving them a token to support their families, because I tell you, I'm a woman, even with my husband it's not easy. You need to work hard. You're working twice harder. So not to talk about a woman with no support from anywhere. We are all Africans, we know how it is when when husbands die. There is no family around to help you. So me being who I am as Mojisola, not as a legislator or honorable or whatsoever, or a business, whatever, I am going to support you. Thank you very much. Hello? Please, and 3 times please, I'm saying that if you see my handbill, please read it. As I said earlier, I keep saying it until I die, I still say it. Empowerment is part of me and inside me. My 1 year salary, please. I am using my 1 year salary for empowerment. Hello? Yeah, House of Rep is 13.8 million. I'm not here to hide it. I'm saying it out. Mojisola said that it is rather 8 million. I said, even if it's 1 million, I give 1 million times 12 months to all.
Please. Our party motto is be a brother's keeper. It's a motto to empower the less privileged and the widows, because they need grants, whether we like it or not. They need our support as legislators and lawmakers. They need to be trained and they need to do with grants. And I promise you, if you get to Lagos as an assembly member, you go to our party, we're going to be giving the widow, we're going to give the less privileged quality training, and we're going to give them, support them with grants. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Basically, by sheer providence, some days ago, we were able to meet an NGO, our campaign team met an NGO that does free health facility, free legal facility, free, what I can't remember totally they do, and have decided to partner with us. We have assured them that God willing, we get into the House of Assembly, our constituency office will have such that we address the needs of the less privileged, people that can't pay their legal fees, people that have health challenges. These are things that butters more on the widows and the less privileged. We have a schedule, we have a list of close to about 200 widows. We are only able, because of our lean resources right now, to affect only 10 of them as at now. But we are planning that when we get there, we'll be able to do much more for them in terms of empowerment and such. I believe if we're able to pay, for instance, the JAM forms, it won't cost us too much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, it's your boy Joseph. So live here on it's Amuwodecides, which is put together by Festaconline alongside so many media houses. Right here we'll be interviewing people on the red carpet who want to know their views as regards the upcoming elections. Thank you. Alright sir, can we meet you sir?
My name is Femi.
Alright, so why are you here today?
I'm here of course for the debate. So that's it.
Alright mommy, good afternoon ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yes ma'am, why are you here today ma'am?
I'm here because of the debate that's going on. I'm here to support Dikpo. Along, you know.
It's exciting, and you have intellectuals. They are talking about what they have in mind, what they want to do for the state government, for our Amuwo constituency, and it's fine. It's very, very fine. I've seen a lot of people come out to talk about their ideas, their plan, and it's been exciting. Yeah, I can't tell you I'm having another feeling. It's a great feeling. Actually.
The debate went very fine. Both of them did very well, and I pray PDP win AmuwoOdofin.
Of course, it was like I said, there were intellectuals here, and I've been able to pick. If it's based on the debate alone, I'm sure, yeah, I have my candidate, yeah. But you know, some people have stood out and it's fine. So.
Olorinunu is a very nice person, tested and trusted, and is a good person, very loyal and humble to everybody. He's a good person. Empowerment of everyone. He go to the Minister of Employment to assist employment for the youth. Did so many things in AmuwoOdofin, and is very good for Dikporo in Renu to come back to the house.
My expectation should be that the election should be free and fair. Should be free and fair. That's all. Should be free and fair. People who come out to vote, it should be free and fair.
Thank you very much. So once again, what's your name?
My name is Femi.
Thank you. And thank you very much. So once again, what's your name?
My name is Mrs. Rebecca Odusanya.
Thank you very much. All right, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you introduce yourself once again? Introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Honorable Brother Leonard Ifelichukwu, candidate on the platform of APOGA, representing AmuwoOdofin Federal Constituency.
All right, so how do you see yourself, finding yourself in this kind of environment today?
Well, it's good and wonderful. I'm delighted because it's the only opportunity to let people know yourself, know you and know what you can do, and ask them for your vote. I think it's good.
All right, so in one sentence, summarize your manifesto.
My manifesto says that I'm going to give what I call responsible and responsive representatives. That is to say, I'm going to be very responsive to the claims and capitals of the people by way of not shifting blames to anybody. Rather, I should take the responsibility of whatever happens within my constituency, whether good or bad. And that will make me to sit up and make me to bring a change in my constituency.
Thank you very much. So if you win, how would you work with some opposition parties?
Oh, I'm a man of peace. You know, today we are contesting. By the time we have this truth, everybody has to fall in line. I'm going to co-opt everybody into this service because I'm there to represent everybody, both my opponents and and members of the party.
Thank you very much. The beautiful people of AmuwoOdofin are listening, so give them your final word.
My final word is that I'm going to just in its entirety service of alienation. Throughout my period of service, I'm going to remain in AmuwoOdofin to be able to know the process of AmuwoOdofin and have the passion to have it solved. And where I cannot, I will with passion take it to the National Assembly, where I have to cry and cry for my people. And by so doing, I have influence and the attraction of the federal government to migrate AmuwoOdofin constituency.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
How do you feel finding yourself in such an environment, meeting your people one-on-one?
It's always a pleasure meeting my people. I'm one of their own. So I'm home and dry. I mean, this is my home. So every time I'm home and I'm happy.
All right, so in 1 minute, summarize the manifesto.
I have 3 cardinal agenda: the women, the children, the youth, by extension, the young people in the society. So I know that the young people have been neglected over time. They need to actually be given the opportunity to excel. What am I going to do? I'm going to bring them together, give them talks, special talks on self-emancipation, because a lot of them are actually lost. They don't understand what they are actually, the role of their existence on earth. So we need to rediscover them. We need to give them self-discovery programs, self-emancipation programs. Then we encourage them and empower them, get them engaged. When they get to know who they are actually, then they know what they want to do. The out-of-school children will actually work with their parents and their teachers. I'm currently working with the NUT of AmuwoOdofin, the National Union of Teachers of AmuwoOdofin, to know why these children are actually out of school. And then what are the problems that the teachers are facing that the children, that needs to be addressed. That also is very important because you need to actually, empower the teachers so that they can inculcate more moral values in our children when they get to the classrooms.
All right, thank you very much. So you actually be working with people. So how are you going to work with people that have like a desiccal attitude towards work? How are you going to do that?
It's very simple. For every work organization, there are work ethics. There are work ethics, there are head of departments, there are top management staffs of every organization. So if you're working and your attitude to work is abnormal, then you have to face the law of your organization. That's for the head of your working organizations to deal with. So it has nothing to do with legislation.
Okay, generally, judging by the turnout so far, do you think that the youth are doing more concerning the elections generally in our country?
There is more awareness. If you look at the last election, comparing that the last election of 2015 to what we have now, especially luckily for the Nigerian youth, the bill on the not too young to run, which has been enacted and passed by the National Assembly, I feel as a young person that this is a special platform for the young people to take advantage of it, to step up to the plate, to bring their games to the fore, get involved in politics, and not sit down and be couch potatoes or, sitting on the fence and complaining. We need to get involved. The youth need to actually get themselves engaged and discover themselves. Step forward. I am young. And of course, I'm a woman, and I don't see any barriers. Even if there are, I'm ready to bring it down. So that attitude, we need to put it in the youth, inculcate it in the youth, so that they can actually take up this challenge and step forward. Look at the world today, in China, for instance. All the young people in China are busy. They are all engaged. China is shortchanged by youth. They don't have enough hands to produce for the world. What are the Nigerian youth doing? Nothing. What percentage of the Nigerian youth are working? How many entrepreneurs do we have? Look at the number of the young people who are unemployed. 83 million is a disaster. Why can't we get engaged? No, it's not everybody that will work in the offices. There are no white-collar jobs anywhere. Even the agencies are actually deploying people out of office. The young people should come to the realization that not everybody will work in offices. People should discover themselves. Everybody is imbibed with raw talent. I am a broadcast journalist. I was 19, the youngest broadcast journalist in Radio Lagos at my age. And I discovered myself, and today, look at where I am. I want that attitude in the young people of Nigeria so that we can move this country forward.
Thank you very much. So what's your final word to the beautiful people of Amuwo?
To vote Mojisola Limakoli, the best candidate for the job. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we meet you once again?
My name is Jude Ijimakiwa. I'm running under the party Action Democratic Party, ADP, running for Lagos State House of Assembly and AmuwoOdofin Constituency 1.
All right, so how do you feel finding yourself in such an environment, meeting your people one-on-one?
I feel elated. It's an opportunity I've ever dreamt of to tell them our plans and programs for AmuwoOdofin indigenes and to give them hope in the face of despair. In the past couple of years, we've had people from the other parties that have run the constituency, and we found out that they did close to nothing. It is during electioneering period that we see them coming out. When it's time for them to perform, they disappear. They pump in the money for electioneering, give people rice and beans and whatever, but eventually they vanish. But we have come that people will enjoy, even if it's just for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, what they really want, the real change they want.
Thank you very much. So in one sentence, summarize the manifesto.
My manifesto is geared towards empowering, giving small succor to the people. Is to reach out to the youths in the environment. For the youth, what we plan to do, most of them don't have jobs right now. What we plan to have for them is to go to these various companies, 235 of them, and find a way to appeal to them to employ youths of AmuwoOdofin. We're trying to see how we can repair the lighting systems all around AmuwoOdofin. Legislation is baseline. If you are coming for this kind of job, you must be ready to work on your legislation for the good and the interest of AmuwoOdofin indigenes. And then basically, or finally, at the end of the day, we want AmuwoOdofin to enjoy small. Plan carnivals. We plan to have one of the finest fancy carnivals in AmuwoOdofin. Organize football competitions. Make sure that there's something we call the apprenticeship scheme, whereby we have identified close to about 500 companies that will be training our youth on how to run businesses, tailoring, welding, for organizers, the same way the Igbo man does it. Igbo man brings his child from somebody from the east, and then they take them through 1 year, 2 years, and after the third year, they pay them off. But in our own case, we are going to make sure that we set them off, especially those that have learned and have perfected the job. Set them up so that they are empowered at the end of the time to create jobs for other people. Thank you very much.
All right, sitting right beside me is the youth chairman. Can we meet you?
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Comrade Benga Nathaniel Akimbinu. I'm the chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, AmuwoOdofin, and the chairman of Ultra Conference 57 of Lagos State.
All right, so how do you feel finding yourself in such an environment?
Well, first and foremost, this program is put together by the Festaconline alongside in partnership with the National Youth Council of Nigeria, AmuwoOdofin. What we did was to look at our environment, look at the major challenges we're having, bringing all the candidates together. Let's listen to them and understand that we must have a free, credible election, and the electorate need to know who they want to cast their vote for.
Okay. All right. With what happened today, what can you say about the debates?
Absolutely great. It's a welcome idea. We listen to the candidates. The electorate are here represented in all organizations in AmuwoOdofin. We are listening to the candidates, and then we all go back home and look at which of the candidates do we cast our vote for. Don't forget, Nigeria is one. Nigeria is bigger than the entire 91 political parties we have in Nigeria. And this election, whether I like it or not, the youth are the major players in this election. For the first time, we have over 51% of the entire registered voters as youth. So it is our turn to determine who will vote into office, who will represent us, and we believe they will represent us to the best of their ability.
All right, thank you very much. So as a youth president/chairman, what measures are you taking to make sure that it's free and fair and there is no fight among the youth?
So many. For the past 1 month, 2-3 months, we'll be having programs. Recently, we had a program with all the followers of the party chairman, with the youth. We had a meeting with the police, and we're sensitizing the electorate to be free of crime, to stay away from, especially the voters and their followers. We have another program coming up on the 13th of February, where we are putting up a minimum of 1,000 youths across AmuwoOdofin constituency, where security agencies will be there, the youth organizers, and them to be talk to them, because this is our country, Nigeria. And I now say this, that the youth should not be used as tools for men, but we must be the decision-making of this country. It is our turn to come out and vote.
Thank you very much. So once again, what's your name?
My name is Comrade Benga Nathaniel Akimbinu. I'm the chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, AmuwoOdofin, and the chair for Lagos State.
Thank you very much. All right. Yeah. All right, Mommy. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're glad to have you around. So can you introduce yourself?
I am by name Barrister Mrs. Dorothy Muko Solo Kosi Sochukwu Chiagono Maria Ilebune.
So what are you
for Federal House of Representatives here in AmuwoOdofin Federal Constituency.
All right, so in one sentence, can you summarize your manifesto?
One sentence. In one sentence, my manifesto is quality and effective representation and empowerment of various massive empowerments. And on that note, I give my 1 year salary to start with me. Yes.
All right.
I said them 13.8 million, but they said 8 million. Whatever it is, even if it's 1 million, times 12 months, I give it out.
All right, so many people, they've made this kind of promises and they didn't end
Draft an agreement. Why are you people? We are wasting time.
I mean, we draft an agreement
yes,
with you?
With me. Hold me by that. I submitted this in INEC. I'm the only one that submitted it. I'm the only one that wrote my manifesto. Is there any of them that wrote it? No. Because we write it, they will use it to grab you.
All right, so how do you feel meeting your people?
Raise placard and come to National Assembly. Barrister Ilebune, you said this, you didn't do it.
But
disgrace me.
The DSS will arrest us if we try that.
They will not. You understand?
All right, so how do you feel meeting your people one-on-one here during the debate? The beautiful people of AmuwoOdofin.
I'm happy, but I must not fail to tell you that I'm disappointed that they did not raise the issue of constituency project fund. I'm not happy. The truth is not made known to the youths. I want people to know what is on ground, inside. The benefits that are shielding, covering, not allow people to say. You imagine, for instance, that I mentioned the amount, somebody by my side was angry and said it's not 13.8 million, it's 8 million. 8 million times 12 months, is it not something, no? Is it not? Give it out, that's what I've given out. Whatever it is, I give it out.
All right, so what measures have you put in place to carry the youth along?
Yes, I'm going to, as I said earlier, I am going to register a bottled water and pure water factory in all the 11 wards that will be managed by the youths. So they'll have something to be doing. Every month they say I'll be happy, say kind of challenge I give to each ward, all the wards, to manage it by themselves, produce it and sell it. There's no month they cannot get almost 500,000 if they supply to the respective supermarkets, markets, and shops.
The problem of
mismanagement. People coming to buy.
Yeah.
It will be like a cooperative companies. It's a cooperative society. They will use it like that. And the money they realize out of it, they will use it to empower themselves on small scale basis.
For example, you won't be there personally to run this business. How do you manage like a ethical attitude
my
towards
brother, I'm linking. I've already told the DPO, you know I'm a lawyer. It will not be left like that. Anybody that is the DPO for 4 years, each year, if they change them, I will connect them to the factory. Yes.
All right, so
nobody will mismanage it. Asara, I'm there.
All right, thank you very much. The beautiful people of Amuwo, they are watching and they are listening. What is your final word to them?
My final word to them is they should vote me in on the 16th of February, the numbers 2 on the ballot paper. ADC. The symbol is a handshake. As you can see here, it's a handshake across the nation. It's number 2. The first one is AD. The second one is ADC. Vote me. Ensure that you don't pick too much ink. Just a little ink. Touch it there and keep it to dry before you put it in the box. Thank you. And on that day, they're going to give you 3 ballot paper on the 16th. President, Senate, and House of Rep. Please, start with my own House of Rep. Thumbprint on ADC, as you can see, on 16th of February. What I assure you is that I will work like no other person in the house. 24 hours, you will see me standing, talking, and you'll be nodding your head. That is our rep. That is our House of Rep. As I keep saying in the platform, the House of Rep is not a donkey parliament. It's not a, you've been seeing me writing it. It's not a place where you go and nod your head. It's a place you contribute effectively to the development of your federal constituency. It's not a place where you ask you questions, you say, later. It's now, there, now or never. You stand up and say it. I don't emphasize, I don't encourage that anybody that does not have the libido of being there, standing until the matter for the day finishes, should go there.
Thank you very much.
If you vote somebody that cannot speak English or don't have that terrain, my brother, you have sold your votes and it will not all go well. Please, let's have a change of mind and do it right this time, that we see a lawyer that had devoted her time to work for AmuwoOdofin. It's going to be a turnaround. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So once again, what's your name?
My name is Barrister Mrs. Dorothy Mukoso Maria Ilebu.